Hello again. This is Jeffrey, and I'm coming to you today specifically just for the founders. Although, if you're not a founder and you're listening to this, it probably isn't going to hurt you. I wanted to talk a little bit about how Mr. Mufareh has used the last year to make sure that we're protected, to make sure that Onpassive's interests are protected, and things like that, what we're doing, and how long the pre-launch has been, and that sort of thing, and what we can reasonably expect to earn, and about how exciting our future is. So while I was thinking about our journey and about where we were, I got thinking, Onpassive has been undergoing some very serious constant transformation since opening its Go Founders platform a couple years back. Of course, it had very good reason. Now, when I first became interested in the company over 2 years ago, I had gathered information what I could, like so many others, but it was really scarce. Of course, it didn't exist, so there was good reason for that too, right? But at the start, Mr. Mufareh had just a general plan, had a modest budget, but he had a strong desire to develop an ethical online business that allowed everybody to work from home from anywhere and make a good living at it. And he also had a slogan called "Do or to Die." Well, these ideas were shared with a few close friends and family, and as it turns out, they loved the concept. They decided to join the effort, and they set out creating a simple path that everybody could follow so that they could join if they wanted to. That path turned out to be the development of a platform that would be used to market the idea based solely on word of mouth and personal invitation to friends and family of those who had already joined. Now, that platform later became known as Go Founders, and the rest, as they say, is history. Well, I'm not trying to belabor the point, before getting into the meat of the video anyway. At the start, the company was ill-equipped to handle any unexpected massive momentum that resulted from the Go Founders initiative. After several months of getting their balance, so to speak, of beefing up the financials and matching the strategies, new strategies to accommodate the new projected growth trajectory, the company came up with a radical new business model, and somewhere around April of 2019, in Mr. Mufareh's own words, quote, "We got it right," unquote. As I see it, since then, the delay in opening the public has primarily been the result of two strategies. Number one, it was a massive build-out of the comprehensive AI-driven marketing digital ecosystem and the connecting infrastructure. And number two, the cloaking and protection of our considerable intellectual property, proprietary technology, and design technology and safeguards for those related systems. Now, concerning the first point, you probably should have heard by now that Onpassive has some 50 departments that's contained in the digital ecosystem. We are, in fact, about 50 different companies all wrapped into the one. Of course, we all know that it's a digital masterpiece such as the world has never seen, whose automation is going to bring success to millions, and it's also going to have a trickle-down effect that's going to affect the lives of many millions more. So we're inches away from the soft launch, and a hop, skip, and a jump from the hard launch that's going to shift the services and the marketing leg of the online model to one of an ethical, residual income producing beast with a heart for humanity. That's who we are, okay? And so I hope you understand, if I forego any further explanation of the products or the ecosystem, it's a done deal. So instead, let's talk a little bit about why Mr. Mufareh has used such keen diligence in protecting our interest and how exciting our future really is. To do this, we need to know that while the pandemic was an inconvenience for us, operationally speaking that is, that's about all it was. However, in the larger view, it serves to stretch our timeline simply because of the reactionary business adjustments and even planned responses to the COVID, okay? You see, the whole planet has been seemingly subjected to a lockdown of some form or another in our post-COVID-19 world, which could arguably be the single largest collective action humanity has ever taken. It's been extraordinary. Anyway, as a result, technology development abruptly turned toward business transformation to include sustainable, socially upright components while introducing platforms that are inclusive and fully complement the shift toward a new remote work environment, okay? Now, this new direction brought about new competitive challenges and strategies from big tech. Of course, we could correctly say that Onpassive's vision drove its creation before the other heavy hitters joined the race or even knew there was a race. Onpassive, already ahead of the game, had took a hold of the impact that COVID was going to have on social and remote technology at its onset, and it immediately began to integrate changes mid-stride because we knew that it was of utmost importance for our technology, especially that used for remote work, that wasn't going to hurt or further hinder socialization. So in short, we were 100% responsive while others, notably Zoom, whose platform took some major hits, were 100% reactionary. At the same time, we continued to ensure our technology was ethical and applied so that it didn't threaten anybody's security or privacy, and so that it doesn't risk any unfair advantages or discriminate. In this way, our future has already been solidified. Now, Onpassive has consolidated incredible advances through its AI, its artificial intelligence, automation, and information technology using talent, technology, and collaboration, and it's done it at scale, okay, at large scale. Our vision, industry lead, newcomer status, and moral high road all make it a target for big tech. And of course, Mr. Mufara knew this from the very start. So, before the pandemic, and even more so since, changes concerning automation and collaboration in the digital landscape are already being cultivated, and powerhouse businesses, primarily of the digital persuasion, the ones we call the top 5, they've all been looking for advantages by hook or crook, all right? And that's part of how they got where they are. In short, Onpassive is ahead of the market and has already accomplished what others are only now wanting to do. Or maybe they didn't see that they should have done it before. I don't know. Either way, big business is already out there jockeying for position as the first bully on the block to develop systems like ours, take them to public, and leave the stripped carcass of lesser businesses to return from whence they came, so to speak. So don't think for 1 minute that the tech giants of the world are above J-hooking the tech or that they're above low-handed activity, because they're not. Because of this, startups and even established companies can all run into considerable problems outside of their own control when they're working with new technology products. As with Onpassive, startups that have created innovative tech with high potential, they call attention to themselves and seemingly invite the scrutiny, even the analysis of the mammoth companies with the data, the technology, and the talent to duplicate anything not protected by patents and what have you. And that covers a whole boatload of digital projects and products, and that's precisely why Onpassive has gone to such great lengths to protect itself, its proprietary tech, intellectual property, its inventions, everything. So, as if building a complete automated, sophisticated digital platform under one roof wasn't tough enough, the legal hoops and protective mechanisms have been additionally painstaking and time-consuming because nothing has been left to chance. Remember, it was Mr. Mufara that said this, quote, "Onpassive is our business and we will protect it with bones and blood," unquote. Historically, competitive activity by larger companies designed to damage a lesser company's bottom line has been shown to not only happen, but it can be life-threatening for startups, and it's done in a variety of ways, and in some cases, the tech giants just simply copy what they want. Facebook's Zuckerberg, he stays pretty aware of any potential lethal threats from startups. He actually has separate teams there at Facebook, and they create new apps, and they try to grab the best new companies with aggressive offers for hot startups and such. Well, he tried that in 2013 with Snapchat, but he wasn't successful. And his price for them, or his offer to them, was somewhere around $3 billion. When Facebook saw that the model, Snapchat's model, the stories that disappeared after 24 hours, was seen to be doing really well, man, they jumped all up in their face in 2016. Well, sometime during that time, after a don't be too proud to copy all hands meeting there at Facebook, they copied Snapchat's stories feature for posting photos and video slideshows that would disappear after 24 hours into its apps, into Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, wherever it could. Facebook also added messaging options to Instagram and Messenger that weren't permanent and tested face filters very much like Snapchat's lenses. It was a multi-front digital war, and Facebook, well, they weren't too proud to do it. Other such cases of this kind of competitive activity that involve duplicating things is what they call duplicating a form factor, which is it's something that recommends or defines sizes and shapes and specifications, etc. It seems that that after years of growing a base of users at just about 5% per month, Slack's growth rate slowed down, then it started to decline. Well, it turns out the introduction of Microsoft's knockout product Teams has been credited with that reversal. And it seems like Microsoft is real good at waiting for signs of success before copying a product only to make it part of its other products later. It gave Teams, which was bundled in a larger package, Slack's features. I'm not sure if I agree with the whole scenario and all with that. I don't understand it, but it certainly serves to illustrate a good point. There's also another way of taking market share that's a little bolder, and that's by copying an entire niche product. A very good example of this is Allbirds, which developed a good line of wool shoes that were sourced in a very environmentally responsible way. But apparently Amazon liked that particular product, so they copied Allbirds' top-selling product with almost mirrored precision and started selling it online for nearly half the price. Man, I tell you, is there no shame? Anyway, despite this greedy behavior, some startups, not many, have managed to stay afloat past their early stages to become counted players in the same space as these tech giants. On the surface, sometimes it looks like they were just lucky, or maybe they just went unnoticed or unchallenged by big tech. However, Onpassive is way ahead of the curve, so we do not have to worry about that at all. Our CEO, Mr. Hashmi Farr, has been in the game of digital marketing for some 20 years, and he reminds me a bit of the guy on the Farmers commercial. It says, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. I really like their commercials. They're kind of creative. But yeah, it's like that. He's been around. He's experienced firsthand some of the things that you and I have, but probably to a much greater degree. And for those reasons, he's pulled some of the best together to dot the I's and cross the T's, and he's laid this thing out for us with completeness. As a matter of pure fact, he has done so much that we don't even know about to ensure our legacies that it would make us feel faint to think about them. I mean, it would literally overwhelm us. I mean, it does me sometimes, late nights when I'm thinking about this stuff. I just got to go, wow, Anyway, he has made us a part of something radically unique, fresh, beautiful, advanced, and incredible. Of course, he's gone the extra mile to keep it safe. Do you remember when he said this? Quote, we are partners in wealth and success. We were born to win, and life is short. It was a year ago. Look how far we've come since then. We are enormously supported, greatly appreciated, and wonderfully blessed. Our future is set and it's on the way, so we can relax a little, okay? We can let loose of any negativity or resistance, and we can allow ourselves to dream. Just let ourselves imagine where we're going to be in the next month or the month after. Listen to what founder Michael Williams said as he explains what we can expect to earn, founders.
We can touch on projections. There's nothing wrong with that. Any business that I'm involved with, I always make projections. I cannot make guarantees. I can't say, well, you're going to make this. But again, numbers are meant to be played with. So on a conservative basis, if we think of it this way, let's say the company takes 60 days just to generate 3 customers for you, Nikita. Let's say, okay, you're in, you haven't done anything. We launch tomorrow. So now the company goes to work on your behalf.
Yep.
So let's say it takes 60 days. 6 days is a long time, by the way, but let's just use 60 days, right? In the last 60 days, just as a comparison, we've seen, more than 100,000 have come in just 60 days. But let's just say for this example, here you are, we launch tomorrow, it takes 60 days, the company has generated you 3 customers, okay? Now, and let's say it just repeats that. So every 60 days, it's able to help those on your team to get 3, Okay, so in other words, here you are, you got 3 in your first 60 days. The next 60 days, so 4 months in, right? The companies help those 3 individuals to also get 3 customers, and that repeats through a 12-month process. Um, Based upon how the compensation works, in the commission structure, a person can easily see it. Let's say at least $6,000 within the first 12 months. Okay, and that's an ultra conservative. You do absolutely no work. The company's doing all the work for you. So we want to be as conservative as possible, because I rather say that than tell you, well, guess what? In your first 12 months, you're going to make $100,000. While that is possible, but if we're conservative, like, no one should look at this as a get rich quick type of deal. We look at this as a 3 to 5 year business as far as generating, a reasonable income stream. So we're not necessarily looking at the first 12 months. We're looking at 3 to 5 years out. And I believe that on that conservative basis, the income will not just stay there at 6,000 that first year, but it can easily grow to say 43,000 in the second year. It could grow to 350,000 in the third year, grow to $1 million in the fourth year, even to $2 million in the fifth year. So we can see those projections, and we're starting out being conservative from day one, right? We know that there are folks that's currently in right now, and because they have actually pre-built, so not necessarily sit there and being passive, but because they've pre-built, some of those individuals will see 6 figures, 7 figures in their first 12 months.
And that's coming from a guy that's got a university degree in mathematics, okay? So he's got some oomph. Now, our future is not going to be up and down and back and forth and to and fro like some people might think. It's going to be gentle, predictable, and it's going to be full of significance. The journey is already smoothed out, and soon our lives are going to be much better. It's going to be exhilarating, freeing, abundant. Right now, we're surrounded by a ton of witnesses, so we need to be running this race openly with endurance, and we need to be after that prize. When that happens, we'll begin to be who we really are, and the stuff we leave behind, it ain't going to mean diddly squat. We're going to get our hands into this thing, and we're going to give it any shape we want. And then we're going to be able to use it to pour blessing and blessing upon friends, family, and the people around the whole entire world. So take heart, founders. You are in the best possible position.